Hello, this is Sofia Martinez, and I am so happy to be here with you today. If you are new to my channel, I want to welcome you. If you are returning, I want to thank you for being here. And so I invite you to continue supporting the channel so you continue to grow as we grow together, we heal together. And today I want to talk about the importance of embodiment, to coming and returning home to yourself, to your body. And I'm going to share a personal experience with you that it will take you to the understanding. Hopefully, you'll reach the same understanding that I have reached through that experience. And then I'm going to share simple tip that you can use in your everyday life to start returning home to yourself. And so let's dive right in. And the importance of being in your body in this time of our planet Earth, in society, with the growth of technology, of computer, the time that we're spending from your cell phone, from the computer at work and your everyday life. When I was born, that didn't exist at all. And so the rapid change that our technology is having is, of course, impacting our everyday life. So as this growth is happening, there's a need for adjusting our everyday life. Naturally, we're gonna feel drawn to just be on the screen more and more and more, because too, there's things that are designed for that. And so what happens when you're on your screen, there's a moment that you stop being in your body. Perhaps you're enmeshing in the screen. If you're listening to somebody, if you are thinking, you're just moving into your head space and without being in connection to your body. So why is this important? Because the more we disconnect to our bodies, the more we lose connection with ourselves and therefore with life and each other, with this reality that is outside your screen, that is happening here with your loved ones, with yourself. The most important is yourself. And so the returning to your body is crucial, and I believe is the most revolutionary act you can do at this time in your life. To know yourself, you have to return to your body, to your emotions, and to the felt sense of your body. How does my body feel? How am I feeling in this moment? What am I feeling in this moment? You're a sentient being. So you're going to be experiencing emotions moment to moment, every second of your life. And how often are you aware of what you're feeling moment to moment? This is a piece of the disconnection. Through our life, we have placed so much importance in our intelligence, in our thinking, in our thoughts, in our mental capacity, that we slowly began to disconnect. And there's a process that it's natural evolution, that how the brain continues to evolve from the reptile brain that is here where your instincts kick in. When you're scared, your reptilian brain kicks in and it's like you flee or you stand and fight. So the moment that you flee is that, when you're facing with a lion in your head, a fear that kicks in and you want to flee. When the moment that you stand is because something is important to you and you think you can make it. You can just fight in there. That's why you stand and fight. But then you can freeze. You can go into hiding. When the animals that freeze and play dead, that we do exactly the same. And that's the reptilian brain, your first primitive brain. That is the instinct, pure instinct, the animal instinct. And then the brain continued to evolve into our thinking brain, our cortex, that we started to become aware that we are aware of ourselves. It's like, oh, this is me breathing. I'm breathing and I'm thinking that I'm breathing. I'm realizing that I'm a thinking being as well, as much as a feeling being. And so, quick biology class here. When in the evolution, when the reptiles, came out of the egg, they ran away as soon as they were born because, the mother could eat them. As we became mammals, sentient beings, we became feeling beings. If you're a mother, you know about this, how you feel naturally about your son or your daughter, of your baby or your child. Naturally, the life from externally became internally. We have a baby inside ourselves, it comes out, and I feel this bond. That's the limbic system with the amygdala. And so our emotional field of existence, how we feel, and how we are sentient beings. And we bond through our emotion. When I hear another human being feel sadness, go through a loss, I connect with that human being through our emotional connection. How it felt for me to lose something, to lose somebody. And I connect and I feel empathy for that other human being. And it could be that it's close to me, or it could be that it's somebody that I don't know. And yet the emotion connects us. And so that creates an emotional bond with another human being. And so this is why it's so important. And then the thinking, right? There's different ways of thinking, but in our adolescence, we start developing this part, the frontal lobe of your brain, where you start becoming aware that when I take action, there's a consequence. And that starts developing, and it doesn't finish developing. Sometimes I'm gonna say later than past 40s, but usually around like 30 something years old, the mid late 30s, that starts finishing and developing, and starts the mastering of our brain. And so this idea of like, yes, I realize I'm a being that is aware of its own thoughts. We are the creatures that we are aware of our own thoughts. And as the brain continues to develop, I realize that when I take action, there's a consequence that action is going to take. It's going to impact my life. It's going to impact other people's life and the planet as well. So that starts developing. If you've been a teenager, maybe you're a mother of a teenager right now, it doesn't have that. That's in development. It's not aware that it's going to do this and have a consequence, or it's going to have an impact. That's in development. That's why sometimes, you see a teenager that is like, oh my God, you have these moments where it's like things come out of your mouth that it's like you're an adult, and then you have actions and behaviors that you're still a child. It's that in between. The brain is still in development. Okay, so now that I have placed all this information with you, coming back to the importance of being in our body. I don't know about you, but nobody ever taught me the importance of my emotions and the importance of being in my body. I went through this whole personal journey of understanding of myself, understanding of my body, understanding of my emotions. And believe me, I haven't reached a destination yet. I'm still in process. I'm still learning about myself. And moment to moment, I'm learning and continue learning and deepening into my own understanding of who I am. And I truly believe it's a forever journey because we are continuously evolving. There is no end to our growth and to our evolution. So that understanding of ourselves is continuous. It's continuously transcending ourselves and the past self who I had become in the past, and now I am becoming. So it's a never ending process. And so this life is an experiment, it's a laboratory. I'm continuously experimenting and learning and harvesting the wisdom of that experimentation, of that experience. And and so when I was a child growing up, and I think most of us have this experience that we didn't learn. We learned about our head to learn to memorize, history dates. We learn about math, we learn about language, you know, and so there was a focus in our brain, in our intelligence, in gathering information. And so as we gather information, there is this focus on the brain, and then how do we integrate this information? How do we live this information? We never learned from our emotional field. We never learned, the history of what was behind the dream in that history of that man. What was the passion? What was the emotional state of that being in that history that we're learning? And so naturally, as we learn and gather information, there was a disconnection through learning from the heart, from our emotional, from our body. We learn from our head. And so naturally, there's a disconnection there. So we're going to begin to grow from our head and naturally disconnect from our brains. And so now I believe that's why it's so important. And so I'm gonna share now is the moment of my story. And I believe in the power of storytelling. And so I'm gonna share this story that was, I'm gonna say about maybe 7, 8 years ago. I went through a massive tower moment, what I call a tower moment, where my life completely dissolved. I separated from an 8-year relationship. I My job kind of dissolved, not kind of dissolved. Anyways, I moved. I lived in the city and I moved to an island where I really wanted to live for a very long time, a place that is dear to my heart. And so I was living in this trailer right by the ocean on this island. The land was an organic farm. I was surrounded by the forest. I had an eagle's nest in my head. So I woke up to, I don't know if you're familiar, I'm in BC, Canada right now, in the Pacific coast of Canada. So I don't know if you're familiar where the bald eagles call, and it goes beep 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 beep, and it's beautiful, beautiful call. So I would wake up every single morning to the call of the eagle. They had a baby, so I was deeply in tune with nature and their cycle of the masculine, and they nest for life. They are together for life. Every year they return to the same nest. The same couple return every year. And so I had the honor to live through their own cycle and the birth of their baby eagle, and go live through that process. And so because I was by the ocean, I was highly in tune with the tides and the moon, and so I went into this healing process where I went through a process of fasting and going through long periods of silence. I became a hermit pretty much, and I would go through fasting as well. And so I went into this, mystical experience and really diving into myself and my spirituality. And at that time, I was already completed a series of, like, I had a beautiful experience, mystical experience already in my past through practice of holotropic breathing, finishing my Usui Reiki training. I went through a beautiful experience with Jesus, that I have a really beautiful, strong connection with him as a teacher and the teachings that he brings. And so without going into all of that, I was there. I was in a moment of, I was in silence. I think it was probably around my fifth day of silence, my fifth day of fasting, and I was in meditation, and I was going through this experience where I was, each time I was melting more and more into spirit. Um, and I had this moment where I would go into these teaching moments, either angels, Archangel Michael was really present as much as Archangel Metatron, and my my guardian angel. I would go and have long conversations with them, as well as Jesus. I would go for walks in the spirit realm through my meditations, and he would teach me different things about my life and who I am. And this day I was in meditation, and my guardian angel came and started asking me questions about what it was like to be a human being. And it started to ask me about what is the sensation of the ocean, swimming in the ocean? What is the sensation of seeing the sunrise and the sunset? What it feels like to smell magnolia or jasmine or rose, and what are the colors and the sensations in my body and the smells. And I had my beautiful cat Fritz at that moment, and he would ask me, what is it like to have Fritz on top of you when it's pairing, and wake up and know that he's there and look into his eyes? And what is it like to fall in love and to dance and to all of these things about life as a human being? And I started sharing and sharing all the things. And I became to realize what the angel was doing. It was connecting me to my life. It was connecting me to life. In this journey, I was, in a way, at the time, I felt that enlightenment meant, and my merging in spirit meant transcending life, transcending my humanity. And I started to understand that my connection and my communion with spirit, with the divine, was in my humanity, here in my embodiment, through this temple that is my body. And though I started to look at the angel, and my guardian angel started to smile at me with his eyes, shining eyes, and I knew, and I looked at my angel and I said, thank you, thank you, because it was reminding me and it was giving me the most important lesson until this day, that was to be embodied, and that humanity, my humanity, was divine, is divine. And my experience as a human being is divine. And sometimes in the spiritual world, we forget that. I forgot that. And the angel was reminding me. In spirit, there is no borders. So with my borders, I get to experience feelings, sensations, smells, sights. And so the importance of returning to your body is to feel ourselves through our life. Feel my emotions, understand, learn to identify what am I feeling? What is this emotion? So many of us don't know. I didn't know. There was a time in my life I didn't know what was I feeling, because I was so disconnected to my body. Years of trauma, years of training how not to feel myself in my body. of what was painful. And so in returning to our body, we feel ourselves through life, and that is scary and can be scary. And so one step at a time, I started returning and realizing that I had disconnected from the world, my life. And that moment I said, oof, divinity is here through my embodiment. How do I bring my divine every single day through my embodiment? In the looking at the sunset, in the eating of a strawberry, smelling of a rose or a jasmine or a daisy. Here. So how do you meet yourself in presence more and more? Incorporating yourself in your body, in your life, to yourself more and more through checking in. And here we go into the practice. Take 5 minutes of your day, throughout your day, to check in. Where am I? Where am I? Am I over there or am I here? Check in where you are. That's the first thing. Where am I? Am I over there? The past, the future, my things, or am I here? When you realize where you are, I invite you to take a deep breath in. Focus on your heartbeat. Your heartbeat is going to be your guide. You can put your hand here on your throat and feel your heartbeat. Come back to your heartbeat, here now, to your body. If you need to close your eyes, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. I call all of my energy back here in this moment to myself. You're going to feel it right away. When you command like that with words, because words have power, you're going to bring yourself back. When you do, just simply state, I am here in this moment, in my body, in this moment. I reconnect to myself. I come home to myself now. And I meet myself in presence now. Continue breathing in and holding the breath for 3, 2, 1, releasing with your mouth. Okay? Breathe in, fill your belly, fill your chest, hold for 1, 2, 3, and release. And every time you do that cycle, you're going to do a cycle of 3 or 4, as much as you need. You're calling in all of yourself, feeling your belly all the way to your chest. Hold. I fill myself with my presence. I call all of my energy back. And I become present to myself here now. That's the first step. When you have that part, and you're not going to move to the next part until you have that part, and this might take a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months, as long as it takes you. Don't move to this next step until you finish this one, until you feel that you have integrated and incorporated this piece. Only then you move to this piece. You start checking in with yourself. What am I feeling in this moment? I left because you left for something in the automatic. Okay, so what am I feeling? I am feeling scared. I am feeling sad. I am feeling angry. And so at the beginning, maybe you don't know what you're feeling. So if you don't know how you're feeling, your body's going to tell you. Check in, how is my body? My body's tense. My heart is going fast. So I am tense, my body is going fast, I'm afraid. Okay. Feel into that fear. Give yourself 5 minutes to feel your fear. Okay, I'm afraid and I am safe. I'm afraid and I am safe. You're going to start feeling that the moment you identify and name your fear, it's going to start slowing down, because you realize that you're here present to your fear, to your sadness, to whatever that is that you're feeling. The moment you say it, it starts to calm down. So you return to your body. You begin to the process of connecting to your body and your emotion. How am I feeling? You identify. You learn to identify what is that I'm feeling. You go through your body if you don't yet know what that feeling is. Just like, oh, my body stands, and my fists are ready to fight. Okay, I'm angry. Okay. Oh, my body stands, my heart is beating really fast, and I want to leave my body. Okay, I'm afraid. So if you don't know what you're feeling right away, the entrance is your body. Notice your body. Is it tense? You're ready to fight? Okay, you're angry. You're ready to flee? You're scared. You just want to go into bed and cry? You're sad. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully you're still with me, following me. Instead, okay, so the entrance is your body if you don't yet identify. Once you know what you're feeling, you say it, you name it, name your emotion. That's so powerful. I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel scared, afraid, fearful. You're feeling this. I am feeling this. You're declaring it, and in declaring it, you're seeing yourself. You're embodying yourself. When you name it, naturally you're gonna feel whatever you were feeling is gonna start to decrease because it's feeling seen. Everybody wants to feel seen. Your body wants to feel seen. Your emotions wants to feel seen and acknowledged. The moment you do, it starts to decrease. And now is the moment you give that space to your emotion. You stop fighting against it, you stop numbing it, you start running away, denying it, you feel it. I feel angry, okay. You feel like you want to fight, punch a pillow. For 5 minutes, punch a pillow. If you feel sad, you want to cry, cry. If you need to put a timer, put a timer. 5 minutes of crying. Great, it's going to stop alone. If you are afraid, start saying all the things that you're afraid. Open the tab and start saying, I'm afraid of this, of this, of this, of this, of this. Start giving it a voice. What are you afraid of? It needs to be spoken, giving it a voice, okay? Once you have that, you're gonna notice that it's gonna start decreasing in your experience, because you're the ocean and the emotion is a wave. It moves. It's in continual flow. What we have learned to do is to deny it, to not allow ourselves to be in our body, because our body is so tense, not wanting to feel. So we go like this through life. And so the moment you open, maybe a lot will come up. But it's a process. Allow it, allow it, allow it, allow it. And you're gonna notice a whole difference. So this is what I wanted to share today. So this is why it's so important, because when you start coming back home to yourself, to your body, you start allowing yourself to feel your body. And now you're gonna start integrating your emotions. And now you're gonna start learning the purpose and the gift of your emotion instead of running away and not knowing. And so now you know that when you feel angry, you can punch that pillow, and then how do I want to use this emotion? What is important to me that I feel I need to defend in my life? I'm sad, I'm crying, I allow that tears to flow through, which is naturally the process of my body healing. Now, what am I sad about? What do I feel that I'm losing? I feel afraid. What feels that it's at risk in my life? And so you start gaining the wisdom of your emotion. And that's powerful, beautiful. Okay, so I invite you to share on the comments. And if you're interested for one-on-one coaching as well, please do connect with me directly through sofiamartinezcoaching.com. This is something that is part of my practice. So if you need extra support in this process, just reach out to me. I send you a big, big love, and let's continue healing together, growing together, and knowing ourselves together in unity, in love, and cooperation for yourself, others, and the planet. Lots of love. Bye-bye.